Welcome, everyone. Pleasure to have you here, and pleasure to have the new CEO of Vicore Pharma, Ahmed Mousa, with us today. Thank you for taking the time to have a short interview with us. So we just wanted to get to know you and ask you a few questions. If you could introduce yourself to our viewers.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks, Dan, for setting up this interview. And sorry I can't make it to the conference in person, but looking forward to it in future years. So yeah, I'm Ahmed Mousa. I'm the new CEO of Vicore Pharma. Just started a few days ago, actually. I have a background in molecular biology, undergraduate and graduate, as well as a law background. Coincidentally, some of my prior research experience in the molecular biology space is in the angiotensin II pathway, the mechanism of action that Vicore is looking to advance, and so that was certainly fortuitous. I also have FDA and IP background for biopharma companies and worked at a number of law firms doing that type of work. And then I also spent the past 8 years prior to joining Vicore at Pierre's Pharmaceuticals, where I was the chief business officer, and I drove a number of partnerships with large pharma, including co-development and co-commercialization partnerships. I also oversaw the commercial strategy, portfolio management, as well as the company's centralized project leadership function.
Impressive and broad background. Cool. And could you share with us why specifically you joined Vicore, and what are your thoughts on the biology? You mentioned you have some experience on that, and then also considering you're joining a very tough disease area, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis being the lead indication of Vicore, and where we just saw multiple failures this year. Yeah, very interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and I would certainly say you've touched at the end at probably the start of my interest, which is IPF. It's such a terrible disease with a very high unmet need. The survival for patients, a median of 3 years from diagnosis, and that's with the standard of care therapies. It's a worse prognosis than many different types of cancer. And, in the United States, as an example, 75% of the individuals suffering from IPF don't even take the standard of care therapies. And one of the main reasons for that is the significant tolerability and side effects, including the gastrointestinal side effects. So you have a high unmet need when you are taking the standard of care, and you have a large proportion of the patient population who really are not taking it for tolerability reasons. And so there really is a strong need for new therapies in this space. Even when you're thinking then about the standard of care therapies and even many of the emerging standard of care therapies, the best that we can hope for or that's been seen to date is slowing the rate of decline of lung function. And so, this challenge is a large reason why I was excited to work in the IPF space. And really what brought me to become very excited about joining Vicore as CEO was, the target and the molecule and the mechanism of action, this angiotensin II, sort of pathway modulation and agonizing the angiotensin II type 2 receptor. And as I'd mentioned, I'd worked in labs in a different disease space, but in the same pathway, and really have seen firsthand the ability of modulating this pathway to really impact extracellular matrix formation as well as remodeling diseased tissues. So I was very much a believer, in this pathway for a long time and its potential. And what's really great then is pairing, that very interesting and very unique biology within the broader landscape to, the very exciting clinical data that's been generated by the company to date in their interim readout of the phase 2A AIR trial. They showed across up to 36 weeks in patients with IPF the ability to both stabilize lung function and even improve it for some of the patients suffering from this disease, which is really something quite exciting, different from many of the therapies. And as you said, Dan, there have been a lot of recent setbacks in this space, and those setbacks are really unfortunate because there are not a lot of molecules in late-stage clinical development for IPF to start with. And so really, this is a place that that really has a need for more therapies. And I would, very excited to join the Vicore team and hopefully contribute an important drug in the treatment landscape for this disease.
Great. We share your excitement about the data and, of course, the prospects. Very unique having an agonist that actually acts on remodeling, not just blocking one factor in a very complex multifactorial process. With what you just said in mind, what are your visions for the company now in the coming year and also more long term?
Yeah, of course. And I think the first and most important priority really is to advance, C21 for the treatment of IPF. That is, of course, what is most exciting for us. And that means completing the phase 2A AIR trial. And we will publish the results of that study in the first half of next year. And so we're really looking forward to that. But at the same time, we've certainly seen everything we need to see in order to believe in this molecule and advance it into a phase 2B study. So the phase 2B Aspire study is currently in the, design and startup phases. And we're looking to demonstrate the efficacy, safety, and tolerability of this molecule in a robust global placebo-controlled multiple dose study. And that is also anticipated to start in the first half of next year. Now, beyond C21 and IPF, we'd like to strategically advance this mechanism of action, these angiotensin II type 2 receptor agonists, in indications of high unmet need, where the mechanism of action can provide for differentiated therapy. So that's certainly something that's also going to be, on our wish list and our to-do list. And beyond that as well, we'd like to expand the footprint of the company as part of our global phase 2B Aspire study, including in the United States. And certainly we're going to be looking to tell the Vicore story broadly into a global audience, including clinicians, patients, investors globally, about the exciting potential of this mechanism for patients with IPF and other diseases. And I'm really, really excited to be part of the team and to undertake these challenges with them.
Very exciting. Thank you very much. And it will be very interesting to follow Vicore under your leadership. And with that, thank you very much for taking the time for this short interview. And thank you everyone for watching.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dan.